So last time we were discussing the USB port, and we have seen that we can connect multiple devices, right? Or many devices with the USB port. Then another port that we would like to discuss, we call network port. Um, Usually when you have like more than a one computer. Now, for example, if you take school, in your school, I guess you have a computer lab, right? How many of you have computer labs in your schools? Everybody? Yes, Dharanji? Do you have a computer lab in your school? Yadish, it's not the name, right? What was your name?
Uh, Sir, Mama Netni.
Right. Nama venas කරගන්න පොතේ බට Netmi, you have a computer lab in your school? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Senhiru, I guess you also have a the lab in your school.
Yes.
Yeah, usually when you have like multiple computer inside, let's say lab, right? We usually connect computers together. So there are multiple reasons to connect this. Now, for example, let's say you have a printer, and let's say if everybody wants to take a printout from that printer, so which means you have to, connect all the computers with the printer. So this is called a networking. Usually we do this to share resources like printers and even sometimes software. Now in a network environment, we can install software in a one single machine, and then all the other machines can use that particular software, right? So for example, let's say Word. So Word can be installed in a one machine and can be used by all the other machines in the network. So this is possible, right? Now for that, you have to have network port, especially if you have a wired connection, right? Wired connection. Now let me show you. For example, if you take um, this is Rj45 and port, right? Let me start with the figure which shows you the port and the cable, right? Usually, let me share now my screen. Okay, so now you see here is a port. Usually port looks like this. So these actually adapters you will see, but it's a Rj45 port. So port will be look like this. Now these are separate ports that you can actually see. But in the computer, you will see something like this. This is the port that we are discussing right now. This is called Rj45, right? So this is called network port, or sometimes Rj45, right? So so this is network. So this symbol indicates that this is a networking port. Now the cable that we use to connect, right, is looks something like this. So this we sometimes call Rg45 cable. So this is the cable. You have the cable connector. So this is wired connection. So you can connect two computers by connecting a wire. So you can purchase these wires in a computer store. Once you have this wire, if you connect two computers, you can transfer file, right? So this is how it is actually connected, right? This is how the cable connector connects to the computer, right? So you can actually, plug this in. So this will connect to the computer, right? Okay, so we will discuss more details later on in grade 10, for example, how we could make, networks, what are the types and so on. But for the time being, you should familiar with the port. So let's get back to textbook again. So you should identify this symbol. It's a network port. Now nowadays we have wireless connections. So there are different technologies used. I hope you already know this symbol, Bluetooth, right? I heard somewhere this symbol contains B and T, Bluetooth. Um, Maybe you can search in the internet, so hard to get. Or else, most of the time we will have Wi-Fi. So these technologies are used to connect wireless networks. Now, previously, wired network, we are using Rj45. But if you want to wirelessly connect computers, so you can even use Bluetooth, right? So early days before Wi-Fi came in, Bluetooth were used, right? Then you have IR, infrared, like for example, in remote controllers, in TV remote controllers, you have infrared, right? IR, again wireless. But all these technologies have differences. Now, for example, Bluetooth is limited coverage, right? Maybe like a couple of meters you can transfer files. So if you go beyond that, the then the signal strength not sufficient you to transfer file. But if you take Wi-Fi, usually they say it will be covering about 150 meters. So very large range you can use a Wi-Fi. And then we have Wi-Fi repeaters in case if the signal strength is not enough. But remember that when you say 150 meters, it means that without any obstacles like walls, and if you have bad weather conditions, so then the range will be limited. But what you need to remember, for wired network connection, we are using Rj45. Wireless, we have different technologies. Bluetooth is one, and Wi-Fi is another one. You should identify them using the symbols. So when you purchase a computer, you have to look after these ports. Now, for example, if you are going to purchase a computer for computer lab and computer lab is wired with Rj45, that means wired connection, then you should look at whether you have Rj45 connector in your computer. Now, for example, in my laptop, I don't have a Rj45 connector, which means I cannot connect my computer to wired network. So when you're purchasing a computer, you should look at whether you have Rj45, whether you have Wi-Fi, whether you have both. Depending on that, the price might change, right? So make a note of this. Right, now I think we have discussed quite a lot of details about purchasing, computers. And the details, as we already know, can be the specifications of the computer. We can divide it into two parts, that is technical and non-technical. Right? Now, technical and non-technical. Technical means these are the things you should look at if you want to uh, purchase a computer, a faster computer with the high capacity, then you should look at for the technical details like processor speed. Now, examples are given. So processor speed, 2.8 gigahertz. Right, hard disk capacity is measured in terabytes usually, right? And there are two types nowadays. There's a hard type called SSDs, which are quite faster, and then it's low capacity. You don't find any terabytes of hard disk if it is SSD. But if it is a traditional hard disk, then yes, it'll be in terabyte level. Then memory capacity, meaning RAM. So 4 GB, for example, more the RAM, more the speed your computer is, right? So you have to think about the processor speed. And after some time, if computer gets low, maybe one of the thing you could do is you can increase the RAM size and say. Then screen size, monitor size also matters, like especially if you are going to open multiple windows in your screen, then maybe you should go for large screen. And sometimes you can use multiple screens. I hope you have already seen. So some people like, for example, network administrators, they have like multiple screens, like 5 to 10 computer screens are there, right? Because they are just monitoring. The non-technical details like the price matters. Yes, if you are a student and if you purchase for your studies, maybe you don't need a very fast computer. So you can purchase a computer sufficient for your work, like use of basic software. But if you're like, let's say a professional like engineer or doctor, right, or maybe like graphic designer, maybe then you have to go for very high end computer, which means price is not matter when it comes to those cases. But if it is a student, we know that there's no point of buying a very high speed computer if you're not using it. Then the second one is the warranty period. We discussed there are different types of warranty, very important one. Now, usual people will say, okay, the computer warranties are like 3 years, 2 years, 1 years. If you're purchasing a used computer, they will say, okay, 6 years, 3 months, 1 month, and so on. So this warranty is very, very important, because if something goes wrong, uh, this is the one actually, get the burden, because otherwise you have to spend again money to repair your one, right? Company reputation, again, very important. Sometimes when you're purchasing a computer from two different places, but people tend to pay more, higher price for the same product if it is a known place. Like nowadays, you know that the Singer, Abbas, Damro, and these are like commonly used companies, because they are reputed. So likewise, in your city, if you're purchasing from your city, and make sure that it's a reputed company and they are in the business for some time. After sales service, again, very, very important. So, some places, they sell computers, but they are not doing any services. So my recommendation is you should not buy from those places, because if something goes wrong, they might ask you to, go somewhere, right? They are not taking any responsibility. So make sure that when you're purchasing a computer, look for what, after sales, whether they are providing, services to your computer in something goes wrong, right? So what you have to get from this part is specifications. We discussed specifications are different for different users, and then we have to focus on technical as well as non-technical specifications, right? Both are important, right? Okay, shall we quickly move on to activity 1.10 in the workbook? So this is 1.10, right? Refer figure 1.19 in textbook. So what is 1.19? Okay, that means this one. To find answers to the following questions. List out technical specification other than those mentioned. List out other non-technical specifications than the ones mentioned. Okay. So what the question asks 1.10 is to list more technical features and maybe more non-technical features. Okay, let's start. So this is to help you out to identify technical and non-technical specifications. So I have got this from Singer, and these are some of the details. So here is how it look like: product code, maximum price, the delivery time, warranty time, and the type. It's a gaming laptop, suitability for games, and here is the model. It says Strix G15, 10th generation, and the processor is Core i7 Intel with 2.2 gigahertz with 16 M cache, and you have 8 cores, right? The chipset is Mobile Express chipset. Graphic is NVIDIA GeForce. Graphic memory is 4 gigs. an integrated GPU. So you have UHD graphics, storage, 512 gigabytes. I told SSD. I told you SSD is the newest version, quite faster. The memory is 16 GB. Two memory slots, memory max, panel size, the resolution, right? And then refresh rate, viewing angle, panel, contrast ratio, keyboard, audio, webcam, right? It says optional, which means some computers you have webcam, some you don't have. There are a lot of ports here. You see one USB 3 display port, and then three type 3.2 generation 1, and then audio jack is there. Then Wi-Fi, so it supports Wi-Fi, Bluetooth both, Wi-Fi 6. Again, there are like even in one Wi-Fi you have different versions. Bluetooth 5.1, and then battery capacity. So 48 watt hours, power adapter, power requirement, the size, dimension, right? Dimension, weight, security, operating system, Windows 10 home, color, and so on. So there are a lot of information here. So I hope you can take down a couple of them. So let's look at another one, maybe iPad Air. So this is product code, price is given, delivery time is given, manufacturer warranty given. There are sensors, fingerprint, accelerometer, gyro, compass, barometer. There are a lot of sensors inside the mobile phone nowadays. The color is given, warranty is given. So this is, mobile device. So you have support for 2G, 3G, 4G, not 5G. You know that latest, support is 5G. The data speed is given 5.76 megabits per second. So that's a data speed, and dimensions are given, weight is given, build is given. Kind of SIM supported. You know that there are different sizes, nano SIM. This is a physical SIM. And then now we have what we call electronic SIM, which means we don't have a physical SIM, electronic SIM, right? So for example, if you take iPhones, new ones, you can have one physical SIM and one electronic SIM. So that's how it support dual, SIM. And the type of the screen, it's LCD, and the size is 10.9 inches. Resolution is 1642 to 360 pixels. Then display protection, the glass is touch resistant, which means very reliable one. Then operating system, iPad OS is the one. Chipset is Apple. Yes, you have a graphical processor unit, Apple GPU, 4-core graphics. Memory card slot, no, that means external cards you cannot insert, but you have an internal memory of 64 gigabytes. So that's the kind of a hard disk size given. Then camera types, it's 12 megapixel camera. And then it supports high dynamic range, HDR. Video quality is 4K. That's the latest, recording, the highest possible video quality that you can get. Selfie camera, you have 7 megapixels because you have both sides. And then Wi-Fi supported in different, versions. Bluetooth is supported. GPS is there, right? Infrared, no. Radio, no. USB is type C, and then battery details. Right. Let me start with quite older one. Let's look at Pentium 4 machine. So you see warranty is given, spec is given, right? It says processor is a Pentium 3.2 gigahertz, memory is 512, hard drive 80 GB, sound card is there, optical disk drive, you have a CD-ROM and DVD-ROM. It supports 10 to 100 Ethernet LAN. These are the slots. You have 1 PCIe slot and then 2 PCI slot. Ports in the front, you have USB port and then 2 USB 2 ports and then 1 floppy drive and 1 audio port for headphone or microphone. Backside, 1 VGA port, 1 serial port, 1 COM port and 6 USB 2 ports and 1 Ethernet port. That means Rj45 port or network port and 1 audio port. And then the power supplies. The case, what do you get freely? Free buys means when you purchase a computer, you are getting a brand new keyboard and optical mouse. Then warranty and the condition, right? Sometimes it says pre-owned means this is a used computer, right? Although it's given, you see the warranty is less here, 6-month warranty, because it's not new, it's a used one. Right, I think this is enough for you to come up with the answers. So shall we discuss the answers now? Time is enough. So let's discuss the answers. Right, I need more technical specs, technical specifications. Other than processor speed, hard disk capacity, memory capacity, and screen size. Yes, Dhananji? Okay, monitor technology, good one, good point. Let's take down, yes. We'll write down those so that we can make use of this. Monitor technology, yes, good one. Monitor technology, whether it's a CRT, LCD, or LED. Oh, it matters, yes, good point. Teniru?
Processor type.
Yes, what do you mean by processor type? Whether it's a single core, dual core, right? Quad core, and so on. Yes, that also matters sometimes, depend on your requirements. Let me.
Warranty.
Yeah, guarantee is there, guarantee, but comes under non-technical. Now we are discussing more technical features you have to look at. Right. The ports, number of ports. Now, for example, this is also whether how many USBs, how many USB ports are there, whether you have network port, and so on. Right. So what are the non-technical ones? Say, Niru? You have seen delivery time, right? Isn't it? Is it matter? Now, let's say nowadays, if you're going to purchase a computer, if they say, sir, we can deliver another 1 month time. And then some says, okay, we can deliver by 1 week. Which one you are going to prefer? Isn't it? What else you have seen? I showed you couple.
Weight of the computer.
Sorry? So in one of the specification, you have seen free bytes, right? As you can look at. What do you get? Right? Free bytes. So that's also another answer. So they might say, okay, you will get a computer back. Isn't it? Don't you think so? Yes. Free bytes. Payment type, isn't it? Whether you can pay by cash, credit, credit cards, and also installments. When you say installment, there are many technical specifications, monitor technology, the processor type, ports, number of ports it will support, whether you have a graphic card or not. Non-technical ones like delivery time, how fast they can deliver, right? And any free bytes, meaning whether you are getting a computer back when you purchase a computer, so you can look for those. And how about the discount? Discount is also there, right? So sometimes they will give you discount price. So you can look for discount. They'll come for discount price. Payment type, like whether you could pay for cash, credit cards, as well as installments. These are examples for so the answer for the first one, technical specification other than those mentioned. Let me see whether I could copy paste. So answer for A is answer for A is monitor technology, processor type, and USB port. Non-technical specifications. So I'm going to copy from here. This is the 4 answer B. Right. So with that one, actually, we completed the activity 1.10. So let's move on to next one. Right. Now, important factors of technical specification. So it's given. Now, for example, central processor unit type is very important, whether it's a single core, dual core, quad core. Speed is important, whether it's 2.8, 3, 3.2, 3.4, and so on. Main memory capacity is very important, whether 512, 1 gig, 2 gig, 4 gig, and 8 gig, and so on. The generation of the RAM, first generation, second generation, third, latest one, the better, and also the more expensive one. Hard disk capacity also you can look at it, right? 500 GB, 750 GB, 1 TB, 2 TB, 4 TB, and so on. Monitor size matters, like how many inches, whether it's 17 inch, 8, 19 inch, or 21. The monitor type, again, very important, whether it's a CRT, LCD, or LED. Video adapter. Remember, we talk about the video adapters, VGA, the traditional monitors, and DVI, and the latest one is called HDMI. Then sound card, there are different types. Sometimes sound card, there are onboard sound cards, or you can purchase sound cards separately. Right. So those are some of the factors of technical specification. So there's again an activity 1.11. So let's go back to that. This is a very detailed one. So let me, you don't have the book with you, right? Yeah, this is a very detailed one. Maybe I can send you as images. Is it okay? So in activity 1.11, it's given processor, type, speed given, prices are given, hard disk again given, normal hard disk and SSD, and the monitor is given, memory is given, VGA onboard and separate is given, sound card onboard and separate is given. Right. The question asks you, computer you wish to purchase, complete the table, and then you need to fill the table, right? So let's start with the processor. Write down here what you need it, whatever you need, processor, and the price. So if you start with the processor, we'll start with the processor. You select one, you don't have to tell me, and write down in your book, right? Take a picture and you need to send it to me uh, through WhatsApp, right? So this is the only you have to focus on. Decide on what type of processor that you are going to purchase, and then the speed, and then the price. So this is what you need to remember. Let me share the screen. Right, let me share the screen with the details. Right, so this side we have the processor. So write the specification here. Write the specification, take down in your book. So what is the spec? Tell, write down whether you need a single core, dual core, and then the speed. And then type the price here. When you finish it, send me a message in the chat. So we'll switch to the capacity of main memory. So in this exercise, what we are going to do is to build a computer, right? Now for that computer, you need to identify what are the items that you are going to select and the price, right? Now finally, we are supposed to find the total price. So first of all, you need to decide on the processor that you are going to have, right? The specification means you have to first select whether you are going to, use single core, dual core, or quad core. First select the type, then select the speed. So when you select the type and the speed, you get a price. Dhananjay, understood the question? Okay, Dhananjay selected. Yes, good. Seniru, select type, select the speed, and then send me the price in the chat. I got the answer from Dhananjay. Right, let me. Can you select the type? Can you select the speed and then the price, please? You have to write down in your book, right? So you have to put this table, item, specification, and price. And once you finish the exercises, you are supposed to send me it as a WhatsApp message. Finished. Let me. I'm waiting for Netmita's answer. Good. Okay. Right. Now let me go back. The second one we have to get is the memory, right? Main memory. So let's select main memory. Let me give you main memory prices. Let me select only that part so that we can. Right, let me share the screen again. So what you see here is the memory. The specification, if it is 512, the price is 2000, 1 GB 3000, 4 GB 6000. Again, write down the capacity of main memory, right? And then the price. And once you finish, please send it to me through chat so that I know that you have finished. Now there's a question from Seniro whether you could randomly select that one. For this exercise, the answer is yes, you can randomly select the memories and the types and so on. But reality, if you're going to really build the computer, you can't, right? So there are some dependencies, sometimes depend on the type of motherboard you select. There are some processors that you can actually select, right? So remember this. So for this particular exercise, yes, you can randomly select the capacity you want and the price. Good. So let's move to the next one. Next, we need the hard disk capacity. Let me share the types and prices. So the third spec that you have to select is the hard disk. First of all, spec, right? So in the spec, you have to first decide whether you need to HDD or SSD. HDD means normal hard disk. Then this is actually quite faster, suitable for new computers. So if it's HDD 500, it's cost 3,000. 1 terabyte costs 5,000. But you see here, these are quite expensive. 120 GB is 4,000. 240 GB 6,000. So spec, you have to first select whether you are going to use HDD or SSD, and then the capacity, then you can select the price. Just let me selected the type of the memory, size and the price. Dhananji also selected. Senyeru. If you cannot type, you can tell me the answer. When you type the answer, remember that you have to type both the specification and the price. Right? If you just put a price, I don't know which one you have selected. But anyway, the next one we have to select is size of the monitor. Size of the monitor. So first of all, take down the size, the specification and the price, right? Now let me share quickly. Monitors are here. So if it is a 17 inch, it's 15,000, 19 inch, it's 17,000, 21 inch, 20,000. Select the size and select the price. You can take down. Send me the answer in the chat first once you make the selection. What is the size that you have selected and what is the price of the monitor? Okay, I got the answer from Dhananji and Netmi. Right now you can fill the table. We'll go back to the table. Yes, now you can fill the table. Size of the monitor. Put here whether you are selected, what is the size, 17, 21 and so on. And then put the price here. The next thing that we are going to select is a video graphics adapter we call VGA, right? So that means video adapter we are going to select. So let's start. Now, video adapter, there are two types. First of all, video adapter you can have on board, right? Now, if it is an onboard one, if it is VGA, DUIV, HDMI, there's no additional cost because once you purchase the processor and the motherboard, usually you will get, right? But let's say you are going to get it separately. If it is a VGA, then you have to pay 1,000. DIV with VGA, then 1,500. HDMI with both VGA and DY, it's 2,000. So select what you need and also the port, what port you need. And then put the price. Okay, Teniru selected. How about Netmi and Dhananji? Okay, Netmi selected. We'll wait for Dhananji there. Yes, I received from Senhiru. I am waiting for Dhananji. Okay, good. Right, good. Then put down here the specification, video graphics adapter, onboard or separate, and then what ports that you need, and then put the price here. Complete the table. I told you like I need it at the end. Then we are going to select sound card. Now let's select the sound card for your computer. So let's go for the sound card. If the sound card is on board, no extra cost. But if you are going to have a separate one, then you have to add 800. Can you quickly select the spec for sound card then? Okay, Dhananji decided. How about Netmi and Senhiru? Okay, good. Finished. Last one, the warranty. Right? So warranty, are they given any price? Warranty, we have not given any price. It seems. No, we have not given, right? So just put some value here, whether you need 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. Price we'll forget about. Usually for warranties also you have prices. But I think this table we cannot find any price for warranties, right? Usually for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, you have to pay more money if you are getting 3-year warranty compared to 1-year warranty. Right, now complete the table, calculate the total price for your computer, and then takes a picture and WhatsApp me. Then we are going to continue. The lowest one, that is single core, 2.4 gigahertz. So let's fill the table. So we can say here it's a single core, 2.4 gigahertz. What is the price? 4,000, right? 4,000 rupees. Good. Then we'll go for main memory capacity. We'll go to main memory capacity. So what is the main memory capacity? Lowest one? Yes. 512 megabytes, right? And the price is 2,000. 512 megabytes. And price is 2,000, right? Isn't it? 2,000. Good. Then hard disk capacity, lowest hard disk capacity. It didn't say anything, but we want to minimize the price. So hard disk. We'll go to HDD then. HDD 500 GB. That's 3,000, right? So we can say HDD 500 GB. Yes, how much is it? 3,000. Then we'll move to the size of the monitor. What is the size of the monitor? Lowest price 17-inch, 15,000, isn't it? 17-inch, 15,000. Video graphics adapter VGA separate. Video graphics adapter separate. The lowest price is with VGA 1,000. Yes, video graphics adapter. We have separate VGA. Separate VGA. 1,000 rupees. Sound card, again we need separate. It's 800. Warranty, we don't know the price. Now, can you tell me what is the total price? Calculate the total price and let me know. Yes, total is yes, it will be about 25,800 rupees. Right. The last two questions, we'll do it as a homework. I will send those, questions in the chat, WhatsApp, and also the price of the parts, market price is asked, right? So that also I will send it to you, right? So we'll do it as a homework. The next one we'll finish with the quiz today, like we did in earlier. So let's start the quiz today. So as we discussed earlier, go to kahoot.it. Guys, go to this website and wait for my code. When you finish it, please let me know.